Blessed Passover to all of us. Om JJ Saima. I honor the divine feminine within you, within me, within all that is. Every year we look at the journey of Passover, this unique celebration, I would say an inner work by the Hebrew Jewish tradition. And this year, I would like to actually take a passage from the scriptures that describe not specifically the journey of coming out of Egypt, out of slavery into freedom. Rather, the passage of the people of Israel walking in the desert in their journey of liberation. It did not happen in just one moment, moving out of that slavery or our belief in fear-based survival. Rather, it is a journey. There is perhaps an action, yet there is a determination following up. And we can look at that by the journey walking in the desert that could be 40 days, but end up 44 years, or 40 years actually. In that journey, there's one passage speaking about Moses, describing a time where the people of Israel were in need, were in stress. You recognize this moment perhaps in your life when everything doesn't just flow as usual, or we are in a tranquil state, or the events are flowing as expected. Rather, a time of a challenge, a big challenge for the people of Israel, specifically in the story, did not have water to drink. You're walking in the desert, imagine not having water. That's pretty serious. So Moses, with his great powers, wishing and dedication and caring, wishing to help the people, went to a rock to have water coming out of that rock. And he did that because God told him. So Moses went, and the story says he took his stick and hit the rock, and then the rock, there was water coming, perhaps like a spring coming from the rock or underneath the rock, and there were clear water that all the people could drink. Yet the scripture says that then God approached him again and said, "I told you, speak to the rock and the water shall come. Daber el hasela, al takebo." I told you, speak to the rock, do not hit it. And that's the only time in the scriptures, in this time and describing of Moses and his self-awakening realization, and he's serving the people of Israel in their liberation, and even taking them, carrying them all the way until the promised land of Israel actually did not enter. And some say that this is the reason how come he did not enter. That was the only time where God, let's say, the president was not pleased with Moses. Daber elav, al takebo. Speak to it, do not hit it. And personally, I'm taking it as my sadhana, my personal inner discipline or spiritual practice in this time lately, in the days of Passover. Now is the days also celebrating the divine feminine in the Hindu tradition, the yogic tantric tradition, which is very similar to the Hebrew tradition. Talk to it, do not eat it. Speaks to our own journey when we are in challenge times, when we hit that intensity within us, that trigger within us, and within us there's something comes up to be like fighting or arguing or killing or resisting or whatever is inside of us. Anger, pain, suffering, anything that comes up can be first within us, and then it comes outside of us in our action. So first of us, this teaches us not to hit with a stick, with a hard or harshness. You talk to it. And talking to it comes from the heart, from softness. To look at our own journey, what keeps us in that slavery, in the bondage, yes, to the survival reactions or patterns and behavior are limited, our attachments, what we are liberating ourselves in this journey. When we meet that, to take a moment, to pause, to look at it from the heart and speak to it. Be intimate with ourselves. Contemplate. Look within. And in order to speak to it, I would think, in my experience, there is a place of acceptance, to accept it. Accept that part within me that I may call a darkness, or it's different, or it's coming in a worse time that I think it is. It's really challenging within. Maybe it's the anger, or actually the urge to fight, which I know is in myself. Sometimes I don't know, the mind start to fight with things outside of me, argue with them. To take a moment to accept first, acknowledge that is within me, and then accept, embrace the darkness. Saima is speaking about accepting the darkness within us. So that's what I'm hearing. What does it mean to embrace that place, to go within it with a heart that leads to a compassionate place to myself, and embrace, realize that place, and then speak to it, be with it in that acceptance and compassion will transform, transmute the urge to resist or to fight, even to do that to ourselves or outside of ourselves. And I find it so, perhaps the word in English is fitting to what is happening in so many places in the world right now, and also in the Middle East. Instead of fighting with it, with a difference, with a challenge, with whatever happens, take a moment and speak to it. Coming from the heart, there is another way. And that way leads to liberation. That way leads to acceptance. Acceptance of what's different within me, what's challenging, and acceptance in another way to what is outside of us. Talk to it. It is time to find that place, to talk, to commune, to find the common place in our inner work, and let us take it also into our other lives. I like to complete with an intention, or you may say a prayer, and specifically towards the Middle East in these challenging days. That there will be also a liberation for those hostages that hold hostage in the territories of Gaza. All the Hebrew Jewish people that are held there, other people that are held there, be free in well-being. And also the end of the suffering of all the Palestinians, the people of Gaza. The end of the suffering and finding a solution to talk, to be together, permanent communion and unity for all the people, the Palestinian, the Hebrew, the Jewish people, all the people of the Mediterranean and all over the world. We celebrate a time of liberation, passing over challenges, the limitation within us, and be a shining light and love outside of us also. Many blessings. Chag Sameach. Happy Passover to all of us.